Hi everyone. I'm live streaming on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. I go live daily. So it's about software called TreeShade. I have developed this software and you can install totally free. You can install from Adobe Exchange and it's an extension for Adobe InDesign and Adobe Bridge in addition to Adobe Photoshop. Also, it's a local server, Node.js local server. You can install Node.js from Google free, and after installing it's easy to install. You need also to install ngrok or any service to connect your local server with the internet, so you can build content online and auto-generate design remotely through simultaneously interacting with Adobe InDesign in background. Not entirely in background, but the files opened, updated and closed dynamically without involving of you as a graphic designer. In the previous session, we tried to place a grid of logos and lay out these logos depending on dynamic style and the dynamic content. So each logo have specific area. So the logos appeared have consistency and have the same visual focus. So we don't depend on width or height, but depend on the area. After installing TreeShade, you will have this extension on Adobe Bridge. You will have TreeShade menu in Adobe Bridge, and also there are context command on the context menu. And in Adobe InDesign, you will have two menus, TreeShade and Live Snippet. Live Snippet, actually a new way to connect text files and assets as photos, logos, charts, any file that you want to place in InDesign. You can place using Live Snippet. So the content of the snippet actually not a static text from the text file, but dynamic files specified in the text file itself, and that called dynamic live snippet. So the live snippet is just a normal text file connected to a snippet in your document. But dynamic live snippet actually more than live. It's dynamic because the text file itself connected to dynamic content. Usually, this dynamic content related to the bird folder. The bird folder is a folder beside the text file, beside the live snippet, have the same pure name of the file, and you can write a global phrase to get the content of that folder despite the file name, because we have variables called file name. Okay. Now, like this file logo. This file have dynamic content relative to the bird document, to the bird folder, where the bird folder have the same file name, so we write fn. So despite the file name, the same general phrase will apply. And this is important in dynamic list, because the file have dynamic ID, so it's always connected to its bird folder. This approach is important and essential in TreeShade concept. It's out of the box, and it's not related to content management on Adobe Bridge locally, but also with the online form that built dynamically, like it's here. See, in previous session we check this project logos. Here we have special text file, have this text ts underscore key. If we double click on the text file, we can open the online form, and here's the online form, and you see dynamic list of logos. The end user can remove, can edit the label. This label help the graphic designer identify the file, because this the display part inside the square brackets at the end of file name represent the label on the online form, so the end user can change here the display part. And this display part is not part of the pure name. The pure name is the ID only here, without the extension and without the text inside the square brackets at the end of file name. Okay. Now let's explore the layout and how we made this layout. Here we have dynamic list. We can add files here locally on the computer despite the online form, and also we can send the online form to a collaborator like marketing department, so they can remove or add logo in periodic time, after 2 weeks, after 1 week. Always they update the list of logos like clients. Suppose we have client logos, client page. So it's not related to the graphic designer. It's related to marketing. Marketing, they just update the list and the files in the graphic designer computer automatically updated the folder of logos, and he can use these logos anywhere in the project, and updated simultaneously and always ready without any manual involving. So let's open the InDesign document. Here we have the InDesign document inside our project logos. Let's open. Here we have there's a problem in Adobe InDesign. The shortcut is not working, so I want to restart. Sometimes it's by the way, Adobe Bridge automatically open Adobe InDesign because both are related together. Also, if you don't want Adobe InDesign to be opened, TreeShade will open it. If you open Adobe Bridge, Adobe InDesign automatically opened each 5 minutes, because there are continuous updating between these two applications. Let's open. What do you think of starting this from scratch? Let's delete. Let's open text frame and let's apply paragraph style called logos. And here in Adobe Bridge, we have text file logos.txt. This actually a dynamic live snippet, because if we open on VS Code, you will find these instructions. Dynamic live snippet start with double colon. At first here the dynamic content, what we want to place, and then here the styles. At first we have the relative path and wildcard asterisks to place all the files inside the bird folder that have the same file name. And the method place, because you can have different methods what to deal with the files. Here we want to place and to separate them by tab character. The second line is the area attribute, and the third is object style. You can write here instead of object, you can write char to apply character style on the contents of the live snippet. You can write para for paragraph style, and table to apply table style if the live snippet have a table, or if the dynamic live snippet place the content inside a table, and that determined by here the separator. So here we want to apply object style called logo on all placed image, and each image have the area 120. Let's say the logo, if it's square, have 20 milli by 20 milli, then it will be 400. If it 10 milli by 10, it will be 100. So let's write 100. So this is the average. If the logo is portrait or a landscape or portrait, it will be have a similar area to the other logos. So let's save the dynamic live snippet, and you can place a live snippet by right click on the text file. By the way, this yellow label automatically generated by TreeShade, and indicate that this file edited and the version file need to be updated, because here you have output location called versions, and here the same relative path, but instead of workshop it will be versions. If you click here, you will have the same relative path and the files, but with a prefix var01, var02. Here it's not supposed to be edited. You can edit, but it's not supposed. So here the red line to warn you not to edit the output. You can modify the file name or change the location of the file, and TreeShade will automatically reflect that to the output locations, like mirror. And if you trash the file here, also will be trashed from the output. For trash also there is a location here, trash, and here in TreeShade menu there is a command called move to trash. It's recommended to execute this command, so TreeShade trace the modification in file and update the relations. So here just you need to check in the file, check in as final, no. Now if you refresh the page, the yellow will be gone and become green. This green indicates that this link or this live snippet actually used and placed in a document, at least one document. And you can query the locations of all placed locations on all documents in your project using this command, query placing locations. I'm jumping from subject to subject and not focusing on what we want to do. So let's focus where we want to place the live snippet. Okay. Here we have text cursor inside a text frame. So right click, place in InDesign. And the file, the content will be placed. Here we have a problem, it's not placed. So let's see what the problem. There's an option in preferences. It must be checked to place live snippet using place command, the default place command. So in preferences, in file handling, this option must be checked. Okay, it's checked. So we have another problem. What it be? Here we have dynamic content, and here we have logos.txt. And here we have logos. So what's the problem? Let's try again. The same problem. I know now what is the problem. The problem actually, the extension on Adobe InDesign, because I restarted Adobe InDesign, is not started yet. Because when I try to open TreeShade menu, there is no command here. It's not loaded. So you need to start by selecting Window Extensions TreeShade. And I think it's this, it's important not to start TreeShade automatically to avoid any problem from TreeShade, and can stop the extension if you want, if it has a problem or making the InDesign slow like that, to be in safe side. So let's execute extensions TreeShade. Now when this panel opened and the root folder displayed here, because after installing TreeShade you need to create or select all the root folder. So TreeShade create workshop, and inside workshop you're supposed to put and edit your project files. And here there is a link for documentation, but it's old uh, and have it's not completed. So now we started TreeShade. Let's try again. Right click on the dynamic live snippet text file, place in InDesign. Okay. Now the logo is placed and separated by tab. And here we have object style applied on all icons, on all logos. It's called logo because here we have logo object style. The first we write the style name or the attribute value, then the style type or the attribute, the targeted attribute, like area, width, height. Long represent the long edge, the width or the height. So if you want to make the placed image, so the long edge have specific length, you can write long instead of width or height. Or you can write short for the shorter edge. If you write width like this, only width, then the width will be changed but not the height. To reduce and keep the ratio intact, write relative. Write space or without space, capital letters, small letters, no problem. The word relative before width, after width, also no problem. Here the software is very tolerant. Okay. Let's go back to area. Now each logo what is going? It's strange. Place in design. The instance has no end. Strange. Place in InDesign. Okay, let's apply the paragraph style. Now we have the separator tab between the logos, and each logo have area 100 millimeters square, and the object style have custom anchored object options. We have custom and relative to the anchor marker itself, so the logo float on its character, the placeholder, and these characters have tab. and we have here tabs 25 milli between each logo and the other. So we can make inset spacing to make the logo inside. Let's put half the tab distance. The tab distance 25, so let's put here 12.5. So the distance between the logo and the next 25 milli, and here so half the logo 25, 12.5. Let's put like this. Now the logo distributed. We can add something related to dynamic style. So select the marker of the live snippet instance at the beginning, and from live snippet select dynamic, then dynamic style. Here you can write style to fit the page height automatically to the text frame, so the page can expand and shrink depending on the logos. Right here, fit, then outer to target the outer text frame, not the inner text frame, because sometimes the snippet have inner text frame. The default is inner, so write outer, then page, then height. So we want to fit the height of the page like this, fit outer page height. Okay. Now we need also, because the height fit to the text frame, so let's add to the text frame attribute auto size for the height. So now if we update the live snippet, the text frame will be shrink, then the page also will be shrink to the text frame. Update all and see the page automatically shrinked. Let's save the document. Do you want to check in? Yes. The checking in will automatically update the PDF file and also the thumbnail of the page that used on the online form, and also you can use here on page location output. Here you have thumbnails for the page for the version 01, the first version, because each version of the document have each version have its PDF and its page. If you want to go to the editing copy page, go to workshop, then go back to page. Now see here, page, workshop, and here the folder layout. But if we go to versions and the InDesign document, ver01 automatically selected. If you have many versions, all the versions will be selected automatically, so you can distinguish them from other files. Now if we go back to workshop, you will see here page versions, not page workshop. So there are two pages, one for versions and one for workshop. Now let's update the online form. Here the up-to-date preview. Let's add more files. Let's duplicate the same files again. Why not? So let's here add new one and let's select them again. Let's click OK. See, you can add multiple files at once. These will have a new ID, and also they have display bar you can edit. Now let's put Adobe Bridge and Adobe InDesign on the right, so you can see what will happen. Okay. Now the online form on the left and Adobe InDesign and Adobe Bridge on the right. Let's click update, and now the server will receive the request from the client and then trigger an event to open the document if it's not opened already, update the live snippet, apply the dynamic style like expanding, shrinking, etc. Then then the request will be replied, and a new design will be refreshed on the online form within 1 minute. So here we have generating for the design and also content management away from the design issues. So the user here, he don't concern about design. He only focus on the content. While the graphic designer on his computer can update the content, can connect the content, and can manually update the layout if the dynamic style is not suitable for specific content. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and don't hesitate to ask any question about installing or using the software. It's totally free. You can install from Adobe Exchange, from Creative Cloud, search for TreeShade.